Masamio, Masamio, Mianani, Banguamoyo, Mibamoyo, Edeni, Mikame Yamandi, Mankani, Yasame Yamando Yamiti, Masamio, Nansumiko, Mikame Yamandi, Mankani, Yasame Yamando Yamiti, Masamio, Nansumiko.
Yamashefo ni na adakwa abakese ama mwachi e de abadwa television so Yi Mu Te Sen dwumedie esu eni ebredo so sense mahodra edi ehi na wotwe mu na ne mu hiase atwetwe ho komo no ye gibrenya adaje de si apaso ne nim de fa won mo nim de abiahye e fa asemeda pono so ne sinkunya na don hwimie no ya twetwe Ghana nkan ko ne ponto ho komo medasi bebre saudi we fidie na to enda no pe na adwa television ana wonso wo hwe esanse ha ne beboa ahwe so mining kanko ebetumi ejina na namonso brane Isaac otu political baby face enemy din na wotwe mu ana Ghana fotosa na hene ede ye na kom akonhoma sikasem ede beto dwa na mrahye bedwe fie so na ma Ghana mining nada aso etiye nsema hudo bia na ewomuwo na ye gidi se hu behia se betumi atwetwe ho komo no enu na enda no pe unity ewo 2022 budget statement no emuno ye betumi edi atodwa na anse na ebehye nkomotwetwe no ase no eya mede wo befemu nyoma bi a wokekan ye nyanya edi hini ankasa wo mu no ye beji brenya daje na ya twetwe ho komo megidie paase na wotwe no waswati bebre na woni nso ehun bebre nemom ye besanso esisto biom na mo anya daje anhwe bi no mo nso anya ho akwanya na mo ahwe dwumeko bi adaroma wona wobo ye chidom eso yasene ebo ahwe se dwumedie memenda no pe bia yetumi de ba mo akwanso no nkron wo don no so ekopem no ndu baako se ebe sori so no wona wo so yemu vena mineral water so krogye mu etel ebeboa mo apomudin sipi na esita bomodin hwe se wonsu a obenom nom eye vena enda kwakwa ememenda o nhyiemu bebre wo honom abadin tu eyeyo ne chesa yifro ne ho keka nhyiemu ahodo bia obeko bia bomodin hwe se nsu a ebeche wase no eye vena enye vena nsu ahwe na wanche bia no mesanse ya de aba bebre ntine wonnom se o di akomu na wonnom akomu de wo se obomodin hwe se eye krogen na se krogen so dia na eye vena mineral water bomodin hwe se wonsu a wo ye nhyiemu bia da no nsu a obeche wase no eye vena mineral water na sanso na so no tekfonso ebo ye chidom ehwe aboase no fom kukrama imprempe ha ma no wobetumi etu ase ye bedan ye ho na se ekoba ye ne abenefo no besinkonua na nyoma bi eyi ni 2022 budget statement ni mu no ye de wafem Isaac otu enemy de mesrel enko bibia ye basesia
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing desk at Stepwork premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Blue City is a manufacturing supply of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Muso nya da je twa mai da ye hoje nkratowo e de ba yo Yi Mu Te Sen dwumedi na we nogu so awohwe e wa Adoa television so no ntempa so no pese ye ko Ghana Emrahye bedwefie na ye kokotie brekwa na Ghana photo sana hene onumya fo kenofori atade akonhoma sika sem yi eto dwa Emrahye bedwefie no na ye tie no na se ye ba nyuma ahodo bia wokeka ye no key highlight no mebebo so e de atro na nkomatwetwe no ye de ahye so ye ntenimra.
Total value of transactions from May 2021 to October 2021 amounted to 34 billion. We believe this initiative will be truly transformative of our revenue mobilization and service delivery agenda. Mr. Speaker, COVID-19 contributed to the acceleration of the digitalization of Africa. Data from the Bank of Ghana confirms a growing trend in online trade. The data showed that between February 2020 and February 2021 alone, Ghana saw an increase of over 120% in the value of digital transactions compared to 44% for the period February 2019 to February 2020. Apart from the convenience online trading offers, the surge has happened globally was primarily due to the increase in the use of digital platforms as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Total value of transactions for 2020 was estimated to be over 500 billion Ghana cedis compared to 78 billion cedis in 2016, just 5 years ago. While total money subscribers and active mobile money users have grown by an average rate of 18% and 16% respectively between 2016 and 2019. Mr. Speaker, it has become clear that there is this enormous potential to increase tax revenue by bringing into the tax bracket transactions that will be best defined as being undertaken in the informal economy. After considerable deliberation, government has decided to place a levy on all electronic transactions to widen the tax net and rope in the informal sector. This shall be known as the Electronic Transaction Levy or e-levy.
Inti na ke no foriata no Ghana ma shebi fi na no wuku insema ahodo de to dwa no fa e-levy, electronic transactions levy na chese to ofofra yede ba ho manyimu se Ghana ma shebi fi to me egitu mu nkwande na 2022 afe pemienu ne eduro no mienu yebe ho ukokoye mobile money transaction ni titu ni wa wo send no nia telcos ne beje wo no enko sanso ana tax fufu ya se jitu mu nkwande a eno nso beba ne se 1.75% ye de ka ho edi amano ye se transactions above 100 Ghana cedis and no mu na donkuma wo ma shebi fie na ni okasa de ma donkuma sikaseme bedwe ko wo mrahye bedwe fen kesa to force so ejina donkuma no ana emu din stembi to dwayentin.
The reversal of the benchmark values discount will immediately result in 25 to 30% increase in the prices of essential imported commodities, which will make life almost impossible to live for millions of Ghanaian households. This Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, will go down as the most bitter and painful for Ghanaians as they will struggle to put food on the table for the families due to the draconian fiscal and tax policies that has been introduced by the Akufo-Addo government. Let me say that all these justifications by the Vice President the justifications given to us by the Vice President that the discount is going to increase the port volumes has proven to be a propaganda and cheap politicking. He has completely failed Ghanaians with his misleading claim on the economy. January 2022, every single remittance from anybody living abroad to your mother, to your father, and for the purposes of your investment is going to attract taxes from this administration. We think this is not acceptable and we will advise ourselves when the time comes. Again, we are seeing that they are going to introduce a special tax on mobile money. We have served notice through our minority leader that the minority caucus of Ghana's parliament will stand by Ghanaian, the ordinary Ghanaian, in opposing this Momo tax. Let me also say that we have seen a 15% increase in all government fees and charges, and we think that that is a bit too much and the government may need to think about it. These new tax measures will bring great suffering to Ghanaians who have already been choked with taxes. The electronic transaction levy will not only increase the hardships but will significantly compromise inward remittance, which is relied upon heavily by many Ghanaian households.
Inti kesewa to force no wadi to dwa watch say bronya ye da ye nimu de me se o man for dro na be no munsu ada esan se wo hwe nia Ghana fotosa na hini dia beto dwa ne die na rehemu bia de ne mu sikasem ho be ye de ne e dia ma o manfo awowo o man Ghana mu inti bronya ye da ye nimu a se Nyankopon dume na ye won kwa na ye tinkwemu dia de beba koba ne se obenu munsu na wada se bofutim bia wa pen na wedi esan se emo ni akoko nam ni de ebebo sinadwo so abo akoko na enumu na domdodo nso ewo mrahye bedwufi weni ni etwa to aye beti efri ho no domdodo ewo mrahye bedwufi nso kasaye na penya oda wona no abedi echi deputy majority leader nso so Alexander Fenyomakin so kasa watch say budget de nkranhye ni arehemu kese ewo ginti no
a program where our youth at the various districts, small scale, can have up to 10,000. And if they are graduates who have their startups and want expansion, they can have up to 50,000. And where they are a medium scale, they have between 100 and 500,000. The good news is that government is guiding this investment into the private sector by channeling this through the private financial institutions. So it's not going to be goodies from government, but companies that have properly registered and have gone through training, these individuals will be encouraged to register with the banks, and through that, the banks will take them through the process of giving them that financial support. This will be a concessionary facility, and I believe that it will bring a lot of relief. So like my colleagues are saying, obia sabeka ne de obia benye biedi obia benya ho mfaso. Every Ghanaian will have an equal opportunity to get support, so that those at that level of informal sector, those who are chasing for formal sector jobs, can unearth their potential and make sure that the little that they can explore, there is that support to do it. So ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by saying that government has demonstrated competence in its ability to manage the situation at hand. In the midst of this COVID, government has not given up. Our friends in opposition were expecting a doomsday budget, but this budget has given us hope. If you look at the reliefs to the private sector, it's even beyond their own imagination. And the budget is calling on all Ghanaians to rally around and support government initiative. We need to get out of this. We will get out of this. But
Alexander Fenyomakin enono deputy majority leader what you say budget CD obia benya ne de budget CD obia benya bi edi na yebusa sampa ne ayaken kan yi ampa to obia benya ne de wo mu na ayi ne bia nso say ampa so obia me so benye bi edi na ma me fa mu key highlights of the budget na nya work kan ye and say napco so be kai nation builder score ya ye wo no mu infemi nsa bi etwemu ekono na wondwumedie ya na se won services ni na bai weye October bosmini ne da na etwato no yesi asanso atremu 1 year e di ama won mu aban hwe no mu kwan se 2022 so no be spend 137.5 billion Ghana cedis sanso ana you start initiative no so wo hwe no mu kwan se no so betumi aboa ebi nyuma beye opepe ba kon ediama Ghana imebu no sanso ana tax exemption bill no was since yade a ye be passage of the tax exemption bill, but as to when eno no beba no nyama ya so anti momo to be taxed na eno de generate a whole lot of conversations and controversies. Say some for drone and TSC say momo transactions say ye telcos na ag one mo na buying so agene dey be benchmark values on some goods removed. Benchmark values so be kaya na watching ya mu na goods agina chain Ministry of Trade and Industry gina chain Association of industry Ghana industry so agina chain one mo eka ho asem bebre na budget no epie mu ewo me betwetwe nkomo na ne krakra road tolls on all public roads and bridges and so no yade na aban de to dwa na se Ghana photo sana yin de to dwa wo brekwa na wo present budget no se aban ehwe no kwan se obetumi etwe ni nem sa da na anadwokro na no ana kyese osoafo hwe akwan na kwantempon so yewra kwesi amakwata de krata babonti a wo kyerese wonum etwemu ahimachin 12 sada na enum nso no ede nsem bebre aba ye beje brenya daje atwetwini na honkomo wa kai say jumede na live on Facebook into so betumi join us with your thoughts and comments ye beje brenya daje akenkan ni nada ede ama WhatsApp number no so ana etwegu e wo screen no so bomoden na ma yensanka kwadwentre Michael ni ya boy anan aye financial and tax expert wa be kamensa wo fidem ha say ono no beboa na nyoma hodo bia eyi ni ti ewo 2022 yesi agenkwa budget no ye betumi abobo hu atwetwe hu komo mema wakwa abakese bibia aboko de ye de nyankopon ase budget statement ya finance minister kinkan ye mo na ye beka ne se mo hu nimdie kese e de efa ho yesi experts emunye wahin na hu ya jese ubie one.
Well, they can say budget their financial plan into the future. I mean, say one monitor nyama kakra budget we are buy nye one bia bibia essence and I see. My fan say wa fee now want to me ankra will seek a same with a lot of indiscipline near to one and to abay
anything.
Well, as a want to me nyasika and bakuma. Na wanya sika mbo akohoma ese okobo bisia enti bisia ne ya bonsa na okobo bisia ne saa dia edu bra bia amo a wo bobisia no wo mo ho no on be ka kire wo se ko na ko pe income bi kan ya wo dadada no na want to me enti am busia omo dia maw enti taxes be briaye ho the removal of the benchmark values stem from the fact ne say yantumi ankra ye fie
yama yenyane tie say covid ba ye no so de ho so anso bebre ene ba ye
mean this say effect of covid no
because obeshe budget statement na sem or the chassis free effect as a result of COVID-19 and sana wobuera intentions of the government.
Well, it is very simple for government to place indiscipline and
why repeat indiscipline by several times.
Very indisciplined manner akraye sikasem. And it is very simple, very simplistic to actually blame it on COVID. Because the figures really don't speak to that. Oshe yensikasem in 2020. Chemi say,
how so?
All of a sudden we have forgotten that 2020 no, now your election year. We are rather making 2020 look like a COVID year. Now, one of the main...
a COVID year.
Yes, a COVID year. But it is more of an election year, an indiscipline, a usual recurring 4 years indiscipline of an election year than what it is for COVID. And the figures no any figures. And your binary figures are all produced here. So me catch will say I buy continuously. I can say there was a contraction. Just say, yeah, to me, I nyasika dodo and free import more. I intro the original budget for 2020 in terms of import duty was a target set of 5.9 billion. COVID see and I be revising by 5.4 billion. Eko we are no. Na ya GG tour from the ports in terms of import duty no, to about 8.112 billion. Do you call that a contraction? Uber Tumia can say production slowed down when there was more imports. Of course, a lot of our production here in Ghana is based on imports. Until Uber Tumia Kapa say production slowed down in 2020, because the figures don't speak to that. Nia usi ubejeno. Uji maebru another 50% so. Enti, it is not true. Say it is not true. What is true is say ye fabro nyanwe and kokoni say we expenditure e cost, but the expenditure na e cost. You knew very well say sasika na wudi no unibi.
But at the time, as I expenditure and cost, was it not necessary say interventions be sabi to me akoso, considering the time and I yehu.
Look, it is necessary for every expenditure. This accountant be every expenditure is necessary.
No, but there are expenditures be you would know, and I say we say these are misplaced priorities.
Oh, of course.
Certainly.
Oh, of course. It is misplaced, a lot of them. A lot of them. Just say yen pese ebe kan ye ho nokre. Wow. Aduane a ye si ye mankrofo. Right? Yedima people who had nothing to do with cooking. That's the first thing. But to say a hot meal for everybody. Now hot meal, now hotels and restaurants were basically shut down. Now ope say umma bibisa and now unya bibisa. Who are those you call on? Do you call on party faithful or you call on people in the industry who are suffering because of COVID? And you want to me anya tour, don't come and blame the ordinary Ghanaian for it, and don't blame COVID for it, because it is your misplaced and mismanagement of priorities that landed us in there. Sikaya yedi ma MBSSI say omu chiche maya. Bisomu say how much of it have they recovered? Na sasika yedi share system no munso no. What is the effect of it? Ya nyahu faso as or mine. What tax? What growth did that contribute to us? El koton krofo phone. It was on a politically winning elections.
Which we cannot speak to.
Well, we cannot speak to because the figures don't speak to. Your growth in revenue, well, are shooting up. And now, according to plan, target are headed to and in Yatumia Chilia, over to me, say some of these things work to our own favor. But no, I am challenging them. They should bring us the figures. Say sikaya yedi maye. Ye ma ko sisia na edwuma no ya hye kena na peja watumi exactly wa fanipa wa. Now unemployment is skyrocketing. You are not getting your tax revenues. Now, who catch me say what you did in terms of COVID? Would far COVID who a yes anyama? What benefit am I? When these monies could have been channeled and used well, properly. And it is indiscipline. The cycle of 4 years in discipline with our elections. And no nasi and your COVID. Makacha will say import revenues, import duty went up.
Well, even the Ghana Revenue Authority, my own say, almost targets revenue targets, and they were able to achieve it.
Really, it was COVID Because mean to mean kofa figure there, apart from what the Statistical Service, the Ministry of Finance, and BOG provides. And it is in some no dear, almost to check. It is not supported by the figures.
Finance Minister Numa said the introduction of the electronic transactions levy is to widen the tax net and also robbing the informal sector. Tax experts, which you can say, and only a kwaya a bit me abua na yetumi a widen the tax net.
Well, that is coming from a mind of a cashier.
Why am I now okay?
Say also will be na kai, and I make a chair say, "Sa sema nipa no kai." No, it is coming from a mindset of a cashier. In fact, not an economist, not a financial analyst or whatever it is. It's coming from purely a mindset of a cashier. So on him cashier juma. Cashier the on fahu marketing na obeye. On fahu production line, on fahu product. And no one say or no dear or shany list, data list na or genisika. And no one. So this is purely coming from a cashier. Not putting a face to it. This is coming from a cashier.
I didn't know will arrive here.
Well, you see, there are data to all these things. We are doing about mobile money interoperability. We are doing about averagely 1.5 billion a month. 1.5 billion. Transactions are a cost. It's roughly around, let's say, 10 to 11 million people, or transactions, sorry, a cost or so. And to divide here, the average value of a transaction will be around 158 cedis. So what you are basically taxing is the 58 cedis, right? Per transaction.
Yeah.
1.7% of that 58 cedis should over around something roughly 0.9. By 12, you will be doing something like 11 million a month. By 12. Now, what did the American say? This tax, you can mark my words here, will not contribute more than 1% of our total revenue come closing 2022. Obi a name tax more and now over into the financial industry name say one of the main characteristics of a good tax should be adequacy. Sikana uko jino ebe sonia opese ondi koye. Na sikano en sonia odi koye ni dia. Then why are we even talking about it? Why are people saying say we'll be sending 100 cedis say. Now, even to that, this is a regressive tax. Because this is like taxing the working capital of the ordinary Ghanaian. Right? In the Income Tax Act 2015, when he said trading stocks, it's exempted. And the meaning and spirit of that is to protect your working capital. Oh, yeah, mumu. Ato adie will be ho asan koton. Right?
Right.
Now, before you even get to trade, have the goods with you to sell and make some margin. You are being asked to pay tax. It is just like bringing back the withholding tax exemption on trading stock provided under the ITA no. And no na ye fa kwetu kwan bi so and ye diba. What you are encouraging at the end of the day is for people to move out of the financial inclusion. Gain sayanya with financial inclusion, right? It will all be eroded by the close of 2022. And the Kenyan example is there for us to see. We are not we are not a block on our own. We are not in our own world. We are in a global business industry. And see, so obia ye bibi na anko yia wo edia na wo wa sacre mu no ha that will make you successful. That is why I said this policy.
But also be kujina say e was say busa say what then are you also doing differently from yani pani ya bia anko ye no. There may be something that will be a bit different from the person.
Show us, point it to us. Point it to us.
Maybe because of
those countries no. Nyomu ye no. Eno abi na wo ye no. Sacre bia. And let me tell you, transactions in terms of Momo, they are in twofold. Check the BOG economic data reports. There are Momo transactions that is towards data. Are we taxing that also? Are you reversing your digitalization? Because that aspect of Momo in terms of data is huge as well. So with the communication service taxes that we are paying and all that, we are also adding up this 1.7%. Now the pipeline, our digitalization, no be feasible. You are blocking it.
And then I'm also blocking because finance minister Mainyan TSA digital transactions for 2020 alone were estimated to be over 500 billion as Anaye can say. It is a 500 billion Ghana cedis. Now we are not able to tax this na yakoyana say by mind you so informal sector ni padodo na wo no ma they are not paying tax. Artisans need to do hodoma, they are not roped into the tax net. Na say be fast akwenya sano so na itumi rob all of these people into it and no is something we should be applauding Anna.
Well, this is the Bank of Ghana's own report, payment system data. That's a September issue of the Bank of Ghana economic data report. Total transaction value. This is in millions. So you have in January 906 million. February 990 million, 1.3 million, let's say 1.3 billion, 1.3 billion the subsequent month, 1.5 billion, 1.6 billion, 1.8 billion, and 1.9 billion as of August. Yemfano said up to August. Now GG tour of mobile money interoperability transactions no a year almost 8 point they have found 2 billion. They have found 9 billion in all. They have found 9 billion in all, right?
Me too.
Now waba mobile money data, total number of transactions.
But mind you, this tax no
yes.
e-levy no enye momo nkwa digital transactions
no we are now Momo is the main target.
But enye momo nkwa
enye momo nkwa. But we are using Momo. These figures are readily available. And here you see, me see. If this is the Momo base, and of course, I'm sure these two will be the biggest of the equation, apart from remittances and all that. And also, remittances, so remittances. Because, wow, we were encouraging people to use the approved means to actually send remittances. There are available ways of doing it without government having access. One of the main things are the benchmark value see Urban said to slow down smuggling. These particular taxes will increase the avoidance of the tax. And it will worsen our situation. Because if it does not come true, if it slows down, then we are going to lose the foreign exchange reserve we used to get as well. And to the implications of what we are doing, it is just 1.7%. But how the market will react and behave towards this tax, by the close of 2022. I have stuck my neck out, and I'm telling you,
doubting Thomas,
well, I'm not doubting Thomas, but I came from a pure accounting background, and normally we accountants, instead of futuristics, we use more of historic. See, and the project. You can say, oh, if you put in $1 billion, this is how the market will react, and then you would get this. No, there are assumptions. But then I see before what has happened before, and we look at that to project. And I am telling you that we will not raise more than 1% of our total tax revenue through this particular tax come 2022.
The digital transactions are yet for 2020 period over 500 million Ghana cedis asem can say 2022 beba no nia ukwaku wi ni say so ebeti.
We are encouraging people to move back to the cash system.
Mind you, so about 40% of the population are exempted from this electronic transaction levy. Sankaye kase electronic transaction levy Ghana phone na 100% of the population and Ipadodo now will be discouraged to continue using digital transaction. But say you exempt about 40% of the population there, 60% no abine say are well to do unquote individuals who may be able to afford this tax as this 40% na watch quote unquote poor people.
Well, what you have to say budget we near or share no cashier.
Quite ben so me kasai in cheche mo ayede ma ye na bind the buy no and I may ma was what
no na waka no me asema rhetorically maybe son say 40% no money why they are operating below the 100
yes
Ghana cedis. Let me ask
because
you,
100
let me ask you a question.
Me too.
What is the real value of 100 Ghana cedis, and what can 100 Ghana cedis do today?
well, according to government, no, almost data available to them no, indicates say about 30 to 40% population making transactions using the Momo. No, almost yes to below 100 Ghana cedis.
And what is their weight? Almost weight, you're saying.
Say they are, these are individuals that is what they are able to afford. Omo making such transactions. No,
and now, they are in the minority. You see 40%. They are in the minority. And what is the weight of their value? So 40% no. What is the value? Government did not tell us that. They should have told us. Say 40% now. Dodrod say, right? The value of their transaction a year, no, and also out of the 500 and something billion, and also value here. And did nothing occur to you that 40% are being financed by the 60%? Nothing occurred to you.
Of course, say Yamayanite so more sending no, and sa taxi be taking
so the issue is look at almost sending
and almost Rebecca so mere 60% na.
Yes, and it's almost jai sending now. Your 40% will equally slow. So you have put them in a situation.
And then I can be buying fast so also widening tax net and with me robbing the informal sector na quite be non fast because omo moye mason omo moye hairdressing ni ade medjuma boja ye ebeka no dodo na ni wa wotu tax. They are not on the tax net into no quite our buying so GDA pass obetumi afa so asafo no betumi enya won mo so ama won metu ato no say what the fast akonya say so because anya crown no e den a wo be send sika
say ye per se your tax revenue and do pepenso bia ye betumi dia boy akron ma ayen call for loans be hanging by the neck. I think, sir, we need stability in our tax system. Our tax systems have become too volatile. Every now and then, there are changes. And one of the things is to have stability in our tax systems. 2, I thought, sir, this financial inclusion we've begun with all sort of digitalization. Well, I thought, say, rather should have brought us closer to enhancing e-commerce for tax purposes. Mami kache wase. Who throw book and now throw bibina who the to your friend saying who the to Amazon soa. Na wu ton sika bia wo benya no Amazon ti wu tax.
Wait, sorry not to cut you in, but about so my say about less than 10% of the Ghanaian population print 30.8 million and it's your tax. And on data now I think it's on the screen. Total population 30.8 million. Now population registered for tax ye kan hwasema 2,364,348 persons bearing the burden of the entire population. Less than 10% of the Ghanaian population and it's your tax. 45,109 entities registered as corporate taxpayers. 54,364 entities registered as self-employed taxpayers. 1,643,839 persons, that is just 5% of total population, are active contributors to Tier 1 Senate pension. 2,107,322, which is 10% of the total population as at June 2021, are active contributors to Tier 2 SNET pension. 136,198 entities, of which 80% are self-employed, as at August 2021. The sad state of tax payment in Ghana. Now, Yamenya tells to say Greater Accra contributes almost 90% of our domestic tax, whilst Ashanti and Western region together contribute close to 3% of domestic taxes. And the very last one, e-levy, usage of e-levy, or check when you be e-levy. To entrepreneurship, youth unemployment, cyber security, digital and road infrastructure, public transport. A levy on all electronic transactions to widen the tax net and rope in the informal sector, covers electronic transactions on mobile money payments, bank transfers, merchant payments, and inward remittances. Rate of 1.75% shall be borne by sender. Inward remittances to be paid by recipients, and transactions that add up to 100 Ghana cedis or less per day, which is approximately 3,000 per month, are tax exempt.
Well,
and then the money, yes, sir.
It's funny because Senior Mo Canon. Well, this is just a PR gimmick. Senior Mo Canon. It's as if say Eneya na DC. Omo paying so na way SE.
Say tax.
Yes, in 2016. In 2016, people on SNIT tier 1 were about 1.2 million.
1.2 million. That's saying they 1.6 million.
Exactly. So can talk of a growth of about 400,000 and over. Well, now who can say 10%? Do we tax agriculture? I'm asking. Yet, agriculture is the biggest employer.
You see the backbone of the economy.
Yes. Apart from Accra, Western, Ashanti region, tell me, economic activity-wise, what were you expecting the others who are basically agro-based in terms of industry, no? What do you expect them to do? And see, that is the structure of our economy. Now, what you are doing, is it going to make the rest pay more than Western and Ashanti, or pay something similar to Western and Ashanti?
Say e-levy na
yes, your tax must be rational, for Christ's sake. Tax must be fair, horizontally and vertically. You can horizontally, just say, me same income bracket, we should pay similar tax. You can vertically, say, wo income so right? Won't share a proportion higher than what I will pay as a lower income earner. So where is the fairness of this tax? Is it going to rope in the over 90% or 90% to pay more tax? Is it really what is going to happen? When the weight of activities you are saying is on the higher income earners. Now, me let's say 5,000. Now, would you 500? Maybe so. Why never to me? I am Momopa. Send me.
It depends.
Oh, me 5,000. also on the playing field. Yes, but on the playing field, let's assume we are all active. Would you 500 now? Ube manifi. Me give me 5,000 now. Me sume manifi. So assuming we have equal mindset and all that, who can send more to the parent? So your 90% will still not contribute much. The weight still is on who? The 10%. End of story. This budget was prepared by a cashier.
But say weight ni be on the 10% of the Ghanaian population mutual tax.
Yes. The burden on those who are already paying tax, taking care of this nation, as you claim, they claim in their, of course.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nothing has changed. It's going to be the same thing. We are still going to take care of that. The 10% is still going to take care of that. End of story. Nothing would not. Look, are we coming here to say that the Bono region, in terms of the e-levy, will pay the same as Greater Accra or Ashanti or Western? That's what we're saying. I mean, I don't want to say it is not backed by common sense.
I know you're too harsh.
Well, that's why I said I don't want to say.
Yeah, but you
that
said
it's not okay. Then I withdraw it.
60%. Yeah, say one more well-to-do in society. That is what the government is saying, because 40% now what you say one more transactions below 100 Ghana cedis using the mobile money. No, one more night just say ye one more edi free more 60% kuya akaya ye GD ye susu be a one more well-to-do in society. Omonombe to me a contribute afforded this tax. Yeah, the urban say 60% in every 60% here can one month. And you one mood one into 10% of the population to your tax. No, it is 60%. It means you be free. The 90% one month to anymore.
Me see, unya be free mukrana. The balance would tilt towards those at the high earning bracket. 2. The other thing we are forgetting.
But the objective, you are widening tax nets, no? You are robbing in the informal sector.
Well, is it the first time we are widening the tax nets? Has it really solved anything? It should. Well, we can pretend to be doing something. Being creative, no. Wow. It is not about the idea of being creative or innovative. It is about the action procedures that makes creativity successful. Se obenya adwin pobi se meye bibe no. Wow. No your friend no creativity, but say creativity be succeed. It depends on the action procedures you take. If you miss that point, your creativity lacks everything. And now, budget way, I am. It is not like we are criticizing for criticism's sake. What was VAT meant to be? The indirect taxes now, what was that meant to be? What was that meant to be? It meant to widen the tax net. Say, what will consumer biano ubetia tax net? The communication service tax, what was it meant to be? Right? And this tax is on all mobile data. And yes, sir.
Right.
We know the penetration of mobile phones, right? And the use of mobile data and all that. It has not widened the tax net. Look, the solution is not the introduction of new taxes. or the continuous increase of taxes. I said from the beginning, it is having stability, monitoring market behaviors, and a government that is ready to assist business to flourish. If Ghanaian businesses cannot flourish, if we have so much tax on our backs weighing us down, the tax you will not be able to achieve what you wish to achieve. The quality of adequacy will always be missing. That is the bottom line. Oh, yes. Me see. Let's get back here. Let's get back here. Same time, 2022. And let's analyze the figures. So sometimes now, yet to say, you probably don't want the government to succeed. Look, if this country succeeds, if business in this country flourish, it benefits some of us more. And therefore, our greatest wish, they say, we will succeed as a country. But
wow. Government will spend 136.5 billion Ghana cedis in 2022. One man targets. Na se when you na betumi ewie period ya na gina revenue ahodwa obetumi agigi ansa na nyome bi se obetumi aye. Na akwan ahodo bi a wo susu sanko betumi anam so na wetumi enya revenue CB na wetumi aboa ma nyoma ahodo bi opeso this scale ye no betumi ewie period ana mo bogui onye den.
Well, we'll see on your day. It's like the horses have bolted already from the stables. Look,
say ebiana mo wo nsusuye fufura mo gidie pasa ban no nam so a ebetumi aboa ama revenue betumi
maybe so. Maybe so.
Me too.
What has government really given to businesses in Ghana to enable them compete globally, even within the West African region, competitively and win? And I can go industry by industry. And government has given nothing. In fact, government is making it worse by removing the benchmark values. What you say? Miti, one of the videos you play where Atufosin was making the suggestion, sir, Honorable Atufosin was making the suggestion, sir, it will be 30%. I think it should be higher. Because the benchmark values on most of the products being taken off now are 50%. It is vehicles that were put at 30%. So if you look at the weighted average, price increases should be going beyond 35%. Now, how do you expect the Ghanaian goods and orientations to compete with what others are doing globally? How do you expect us to compete until we can actually make industry grow on their own strength? Right? Look, let me give you an example.
Right.
You take the paint industry in Ghana, right? And look at West Africa. Sasika amusi omudi bemma I challenge them. Take 3 or 4 industries where people are actually putting in so much in terms of debt, loans. Most of them are loans with high interest rates, about 20-21%.
Right.
No more juma. For such kind of mom, let them expand. Let them be competitive in Africa or West Africa. And let's beat everybody in Africa in the paint industry. And tell me, sir, you are putting even 200% increase on imported paints. Right? You would have employed more and you would have made more tax revenue than what we are doing. It is simple. Nia omuka dabino about production. They should revisit it. Say if they don't have the know-how, they should invite others. Nyasa nibaku fort. Now, the way they are going, it's as if say Nyasa wa mupe. Yes, I agree with that. Say it is only production. What is making the U.S. economy kick as we speak, right? It's production. Let us not go far. Ivory Coast next door does not have the level of debt that we have. They were equally hit with COVID. So what is your excuse? Now, who are we here? By our taxes, you are not even encouraged to do savings. And sometimes, budget, go and look at our broad money shift. You will realize, say, time deposits in relation to foreign currencies, they have drastically reduced. That is when people no longer have faith in your currency and they start moving it out. If we don't save, what would you 200 per abansi meji tax or so.
Meanwhile, they may example.
Meanwhile, just because I see you in front of me,
that is fine.
But somebody in Ivory Coast take an equivalent of 500 cedis and pays zero tax.
That is what the government has explained.
I'm talking about individual tax.
Okay.
Individual income tax.
Okay.
So me for be we juma mo, right? Now me see me 300,000 cedis. Me 1,000 cedis no na me ti tax na free. Enti enye me na me tia. Eye wo awo ye juma no wo na wo tia. Because either to no 1,000 in na eba wo ho. But I buy see me share in terms of tax and ti way na for breme. I am only an agent for government as an employer. So what yes. And I make a say. Me person me you see US example. Me see Ivory Coast. Those taking an equivalent of 500 cedis pays no tax in Ivory Coast. And to a brandy our sisu Ivory Coast. Or to me, the sika to her. Because if we are paid the same, or no nya obenya no, ebe bru nya, or no nya obenya wa Ivory Coast no, ebe bru nya menya ewa ha Ghana. So they can save better. People can save to create new orientations. Na sika amodi command Crawford. Say na muye with regards to NAPCO.
I'm the command for being.
It's almost what you start.
You start initiative.
Now I'm man for 10,000.
Right.
Say.
Ghana for maybe one person mu ye juma. Ni omo ma she juma na se dan ye be so masine. No metumi apeche mu.
See, there are examples all over the world. There are examples. And this is not how they did it. You don't breastfeed people and think, say, they will be successful. We call USA. They have the SBA, Small Business Associations. Look, what they do is they guarantee. Government will guarantee loans for you. You have some tax rebates. Abrantie, to say me, my share Jumasi, my konya 10,000, bina my share Jumasi. Alright, I work first into Registrar General, and I have to spend close to, let's say, 500 cedis to register a company. And Timisika no, a swati about 9,500. Then me walking into GRA, say me could be a tax file. You see, for our assessment, bra, but you have 1,000 cedis deposits, but you have 2,000 cedis deposits. Misika na kase. You see, we keep pumping money, we keep, putting out initiative. I think it is just for the slogan and for the pages it will cover in the budget. That's all. Because you cannot tell a young man such as me to do exactly what a multinational is supposed to do under tax administration.
You see, I might say there will be a passage of the tax exemption bill.
The tax exemption bill, no, baby, I cover.
And no, I am specifics, but
and to my fan can't say answer. Omudiba, you better answer. But you see,
but you've been hinted into at least when you say any moment soon.
Well, there are a lot of
there would be some sort of relief.
Currently, there are a lot of tax exemptions. Currently, I think what they are trying to do, no sir, going back to Parliament all the time for tax exemptions. They want to have it done in a holistic format. They will not have to be going back to Parliament each time they want tax exemption. So they will put parameters for people who probably qualify for tax exemption. And I don't think, say, small businesses would actually enjoy that. I don't think so.
Who raised concern about NAPCO?
Yes.
Abayama Inyan says he extended for another 1 year. Now, after the 1 year cramp, and I said during the 1 year period, mind you, go for be reward more or more enroll onto such scheme as this year, or my better to entrepreneurs, or manka so maybe be medjuma near the idea. Our manka says it's almost dear moho. Tiawana can nipper craben na cana, one more one shilling end day 1 year and I extended for another 1 year period at the amount of 1 more. Before almost 10 years back to an end, no. In Shishaya wo honoma, ye share ni mukwen. Bini you start initiative here sema wukanye ye be robi omu into. And no nye something I was say I applaud yana.
Well, sir, you can applaud aspects of NAPCO, but what is the results? What is the result of NAPCO? Has it generated growth for us? What is the level of growth? Oh, so some of the things we have to rationalize some of our expenditures and monitor the outputs. Who this share bibi moi? So who share him say bibi papa be free mwaba. Right.
Certainly.
Exactly. And I think that is where our financial reporting should be heading towards. Bibi to say COVID 1%. Me nya kame hwehwe yi se ni se wodi one new line abetu mo se COVID 11 1% ma gidi say Now, what of the COVID-related expenses? And also, here one other line, because that is where real transparency comes from. Enti, ukache me say NAPCO. Now my bisa will say, ye di say ashemu. How much really did we get out of it? That is one. Two, what is even the percentage of those who through NAPCO no actually have set themselves up or something? Any 700 cities?
Well, any 700 cities, there is one gentleman on the woman say he's been able to set up a barbering shop from the 700 Ghana cities. Now, to me, it's savvy.
That's commendable.
Right.
But is it on the widespread? Is it a widespread thing?
Well, it's maybe 1 out of the million, but
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a step.
That is not.
It could be done.
That is not how to go about policy settings.
But it could be done. So it could be done.
There is an alternative.
Which is
if you give me a tax credit of 6,000 cedis with the GRA, and you ask me, a young man, to register and open a tax file with the GRA, you think I will not rush to do that? So that in the event, say me a business, me am be a business, and I reported all my revenue correctly and reported my expenditure correctly. Now me tax no, and so 6,000 now, right? Whatever it is will be paid back to me. Whatever I lost will be paid back to me through my tax credits that I have. Do you know how many people that that policy could have influenced to come on mainstream and to contribute to our tax portfolio? Who the sika share di mo? Who the share mo in a sense? The big papa.
Faso dear. Right. Ebusa show my Yi Mu Te Sen Jumidi Adoatv television. So many Ura Michael ni ya boy anan financial and tax experts and extreme komo ewo hasi 2022 budget statement of finance minister and presenting nanu wukono e won komo twetwe ne ya twetwe ye bedan ye ho agenkwa to e ba ye beto aso.
City is a manufacturer and supply of high quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240 926 564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emil's Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
All of this means that there's no hope for Ghana, there's no hope for Ghanaians, there's no hope for the youth, there's no hope for every business person in Ghana. Even all the sectors, education, health, no hope. Look at even housing sector. Look at the sanitation sector. This is a president that keeps saying that he wants to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa. The budget, what did they do about it? What did they specifically indicate that they are going to do as far as keeping the country clean is concerned? What did the budget specifically say about housing? Very open. For the past 5 years, they cannot point at a specific project they have done that alleviate the over 2 million housing challenges that we have in Ghana. I serve on the Western Housing Committee as the deputy ranking member, and so I know what I'm talking about. In the housing sector, nothing has been done. And the part of sanitation, like I said, most of the areas, even we have Zoom Lion workers that do not do work, yet every month assemblies pay. This is not a secret. It is an open something that we are all aware of. I remember last year when I was debating, this part of the debate, I emphasized on it. I said we wanted to know, especially the COVID funds, what they use the COVID funds for, the sanitation, which companies they paid money to. All these things they couldn't explain to us.
So you can't continue to deceive Ghanaians. Let the truth be told that, look, we are all supposed to tax ourselves. I trust that if politicians, we are truthful to Ghanaians, and we tell every worker that, look, let's sacrifice even 200 Ghana from every worker's salary, and we'll fix our rules, because we'll be truthful, then workers will obey. Are you getting me? So that they will enable a program or a road that this is Ghanaian workers' road, and people will be proud of it. But we can't continue to be lying into governance. And when you lie into governance, it will expose you. His Excellency Bawumia said it. And now it is exposing them. Are you getting me? E-tax. We want to applaud you for e-tax. That means now if I'm transferring money to my wife or my child in school, they have to tax it. If my child should say extra classes, they want to tax that money. If my brother abroad is bringing money to the grandmother in the village who is to travel to go and take the money from bank, now the bank is going to pay money. At the same time, you are taxing my grandmother at home. Oh, Massa, let's be truthful to ourselves. We agree. There are challenges. And now continue, you say cover it, everything cover it. Should we blame cover it on everything? You are taxing airport tax for cover it. Are we not paying tax from cover it? Those who travel abroad and came home, those who live, you take tax from airport. So why do you blame this on cover it?
I knew that this digitization was going to end up in Bawumia pickpocketing. Today, as you are here working, immediately your money gets into the bank. Unless you go to the bank to withdraw the money in cash, any attempt to spend that money through any electronic means, whether you are transferring directly to somebody, you are transferring to your Momo wallet, you are paying out to your grandmother in the village, Bawumia is waiting to take a share before you spend that money. And yet you have paid taxes on that income. So you are paying double taxes because your income is taxed. The money that they now give to you as your net salary is also taxed if you spend the money by any electronic means. So what it definitely means is that we have reversed the electronic platform that we are creating by over 25 years. I will always go to the bank and withdraw my money, so I don't pay that money. It is the same way you are likely not to be using your platforms to spend your money, but will be queuing at the bank because you want to avoid double taxation of the same money that you pay the taxes on.
Yes,
Ebusuye da si bebre se we video no gusu da do television na gusu a wo show Yi Mu Te Sen tumedi aka be yes meduasa na nkomotwetwe ne de ni nada abai we ye Michael ni ya boy anan gusu wo video mu ase financial and tax expert wo boa ama yutumi ya pense 2022 budget statement na no wuku Ghana foto sana hene kenkan ona mahwebedwofi e de to manfo ni nada enim ye hwe nwuma hodo bi mu a wo mu nwuma hodo bi no yakeka mefaso de bi e wo nwuma hodo bi so a eyi ni ti e wo sa budget statement presentation no emu Isaac to political baby face ni ndi Michael 7 amre no water nso krogin a emu etel abebo amu apomudin ACP na esitabomodin na GB eno na semba kusu ese yi ni ti one of the key highlights no and it says see and road tolls on all public roads no ye twemo na Ghana foto na hene de sa asemi etu dwa no sada kro na dwo ana oso afo hwa akwanya kwantempo nso no mnyamfo kwesi amakwanta e de krata ba bontin a wo kyerese ahema chen 12 sa abrekro na mu no won ma wo gigit to e wo to ahodon woni nada won twemo was scrapping off na yebusa se mrashe bedwefie ni yedi ade kokoto ye e wo se yetumi agitumu na 2022 ashase ayejuma na yedi tu dwa sabriko na mu no yetwemu enam so amachese achiame henye wo Ghana mrashe bedwefie so bufu ye pa na nyasem komakra na yendi kan kotie brekwa na Ghana foto sana hene kenofori ata ede sa semi etu dwa mrashe bedwefie.
Mr. Speaker, our roads need fixing and building. Our roads are being fixed. It is true that more roads have been fixed and are being fixed over the last 5 years than any relative period in the entire history of our nation. We even want to do a lot more, and this budget will cater for this. That is why for decades, governments after governments imposed and maintained tolls on some public roads to raise funds for road construction and maintenance. This is the situation in many countries. However, over the years, the tolling points have become unhealthy market centers, led to heavy traffic on our roads, lengthened travel time from one place to the other, and impacted negatively on productivity. The congestion generated at the tolling points, besides creating these inconveniences, also leads to pollution in and around the vicinities. To address these challenges, government has abolished all tolls on public roads and bridges. This takes effect immediately the budget is approved on appropriation. The toll collection personnel will be reassigned. The expected impact on productivity and reduce environmental pollution will more than offset the revenue foregone by removing the tolls. Tolls, Mr. Speaker, would be abolished on all public roads.
Intina no keno foriati Ghana foto sana hene wabrekwa wo gina mrashe bedwefie de to dwa se road to sahodro ne bridges sahodro ne yetwemu nyade a wopese yetua biom de no yese koba ne se mrashe bedwefie agituma na ye kan ye mrashe bedwefie kranya ngintumu ye ene se wo no so soafo a wo hwe akwanya kwantempo ho nsem so ede krata ba bonten a wo kire se won mu ntwemu nyade a wo betumi agigibiom na yenko ye chiba ko na mumu to be taxed nkomotwetwe na ye twetwe no emse Mobile Money Agents Association for no so akasa de afa ho wonuma wo yiye mobile money ahodo abonten so akasa de afa ho na woni ni nje ho kra wonum so raise several concerns na no ne ebekwa ahoma no so na ye ne penifobia woda se kuna no atwetwe nkomo ede afa we ho na ye bisa wonum se ede important ana wonum esusu se adi anase etofufo ya aban ede eba abeka digital transactions one more mobile money agency one how potepa was adding home and saying one day was to send for so de bia de so na send for so de bia ni so de ana kwan be na be fa so aha one mo dwumedia one mo edi ebi no akasa actually one madrin e dia fa we no nipa dodo na nso e kire se nya de no betumi aboa amomanfo dodo na imprimpi won di won dwumedi e fa mobile money so no se na owura Michael ni ya boy anan credit kan ye no beti omanfo no ahonkeka e fa kwan a wo sanka wo fa so e fa so eye mobile money yen kwa homa no so na Edmondson e ka mobile money agent yi ho ebie wa ka yen sa wa homa no. Good morning, so what me kan makwaba the Adoatv television so say ya share no yoguso aposa homa no ahwe se yen sabe to me aka no e wa homa no so na wa maye hu wonum so wonum adwenkyere e fa sadi hu a ababe to dwa no wo nwenenwene wo su edwuma bebo wonum na wonde wo so mfa so de biada eni so yoguso ahwe se sabe to me aka Edmondson wa homa no so na wetumi aboa masanko motwetwe no yetumi atwetwe. Good morning, so what me kan Adoatv television so ni me ma wakwaba. Right, it's here for Nyashe for Nina Daijo. So, most more how pots and pan is saying.
So, that was it. Now, many times in Shaka, see me in the amount of members of the Mobile Money Association of Ghana in church, after a march. After this year, a year, 1 night, they didn't say, well, Ghana now was moving to many hours, mission. Therefore, I said, so, yes, in the each hour. Yes, I said, you entreated it at all. In fact, you saw any additional mind. In Japan, you can not get Ghana and Amaba. The entry, the what was when the can say, the introduction of this year electronic tax. In that year, the other boy, Jimmy Gill.
A quite bench.
I am 3 years. It is me with you. And no, any say, the child am I buying a theatre. Yeah, Nanka, I buy a broader compensation. Nanka, you make me a bois, I buy a this one. I buy this making much more revenue to Asia. 6.8 billion. I buy a feeling in a year. Obviously, out of a year, introduction of the year. Now, Uncle Fanny say, I mean, I have a say. The said you see 1.7% after 2 years of 5 and so not consumer this one. Don't forget the consumer is a community, and also if you see a so the moon will be one after a bone or so. So your objection will be so. Objection will be so. Now, if I you can say, upon 1.7% now, we all share finance for billion, our transaction will go 100 cities. That's the one, you can announce them. There's also be an announcement of no agents are yet to say, we may do man airport and said you subscribe number. Who is the details when you are both business doing it? It's not really you can name more coffee number. I want to upgrade. Now, said you need to have idea to me. I can say, I'm going to be a mobile. Not a buying it to me. Rather, what is you and 12 dollars a day to the because when it plays a record, I'm buying on the 12.
I am mobile money agents, Nana.
If you have 10%, am I buying all your revenue in your business? You are buying on the 12. It's not the action and campaign rather than a year, a 12 days.
Edmonds, where they were done, my member went to mu 10% na mutu and mutu ya the matter cost na say mutu ya the man here for.
Because you hear myself, 10% is the man buying. I buy through the circles. Okay. Now, I know in the year 2020, that 10% income, I buy 230 million Ghana cedis. 2020, I buy 230 million Ghana cedis. Now, here, I'm going to say, to see our Catano, we have some subscribers. One of you say, don't forget the active subscribers are 17.1%. According to Bank of Ghana, I can show them we are 2020. Active consumers. Now, Ghana, so we are populating a little job. We are about 36 million.
30.8 million.
Also forget that you want to use the money, and then the phone for that's a working for that. we have a lot of minors that won't put in the movie. Parents, I register Momo, Ama, any one young man was shot. One year to one. I mean, you know, still there are people who feel that the usage of the mobile money to transact business is very expensive. I mean, you know, one more year to one. This is the time, I said, you have more value for calculation. Now, I guess about that is clear muscle. I will move with you. Now, after 1 hour a year on prayer. Said you want to move to my board and not with more good, move with you. And one company, that's what you be able to say. Said you know how we want to say, what we really I have not buy a kid, you know, career, nothing, let us have and go to one do. And then, that's another attractive. I'm a woman who wants to have a day, I don't want to go back. I want to make me be here. So, who will be a profitable? And so we get for 30 minutes and go to who is it? The cost of running operating are being over. I think the profit no competitive profit. If you add in a main cost, then what you need better. Only time is coming around and also am I ready to go to the room. And also one are all things in the Korean, one year, I think Abia. And I also ever must income, but income not buying 10%. And the end year, you will get how to say you need, especially in the midst of COVID, starting is the way to go. In as much as the support of 1 year, I try to say about nothing. Now, in the Ayak to have been answered by point on the fatwa. I think you are making a non necessarily say all taxes subscribers. Because subscribers on any life wire. And if you're using the moment at the much more expensive, for which we are considered other alternatives. Many of the after 1 million jobs direct and indirect jobs now. No one is made at every crazy. After the unemployed situation, one man so, after men so. After it's what I'm so, I am sure here. After you not have fun in the years supposed to be. I'm giving you it's some idea. I have here, got to see anything to Kata. I have come up consumer protection agent. Or a people in a campo. They're trying to see woman up on my temple snow. And you only are cabin. I have some apple to a baby.
Tell Kosi I will call one masem cry. One month was saying, yeah, you bought one mamma. Young consulted one more, dear by any say put to prum. Yadi we are best in sign one more. Telecommunication network BT say Vodafone, for example. One put anchor, one more one transactions are 1 million Vodafone. Who send this case with Vodafone and can a free. But you see, an abine say Chinchine train was 1.75% in it. One so what they call with their home being. Until 1 minute work concerns out. One more areas for new tax here, but Joshua okay BB say anka abanye mo etnase etwatwa dwene hwekwa anka wo betumi afa so na tax revenue wo betumi accrue, but not with the e-levy no. Anka mo betumi aboa as suggest ways ahodo bebre anka 7 billion target a one wo so say wo betumi enya through e-levy no anka betumi abro so no. And I may say, ways been Nankamo suggested their money.
The can say, I say that finance for 1 way to say, yes, you say. Looking at it, I buy a shop myself, or implementing e-levy year. And yet, I think 2022, that's the year December 31st, 2021. I buy a shop myself to be here for the car. This year, they will see a whooping sum of a year 6.8 billion, almost 3.9 billion, equal to 3 billion. I don't need to buy airship. I need to announce to buy the free to start making off. Because told every time, then you have to have my buying to Kata. If you are buying just oh, yes, now what do you need? A year, money or 20 and one boy. Yes, you know, you think that 6.8 billion are buying airship points or the free a moment at me. You think that I buy volume. And I buy another thing that to the moment sector. Only that is the intent of infrastructure. Instead of technology, instead of the VR. More this is cutting really. Now buying SI Emma Sika. Said you, and I beg you to buy Emma and maybe money. Oh, my agency. I think they own my mobile money movie. Let me give you a mobile money sector. Who can you loan your mouth? And today I a lot of investors into the mobile money sector. But I told you, all years money. Now, by every day, no more 10% or give that. No, until the corporate sanction. This is a buy the near tax 8 billion. Maybe because in the long run, it's a benefit of buying. No more, that's a problem. I'm not going to say, or so it will. What is the decided point? When you make money, you need money. What happens? It is not only government that is losing its 1.75% role. The agent is losing his employment, his job. The truckers are equally losing their job. So government will end up losing both the CIT, now facing the withholding tax agent making money. CIT on the part of companies, and the withholding tax on the part of agents. Nothing said. Therefore, you are not here. And you know, and then your house, these are the way you say, I can buy chance to lose your boy. But then I'm kind in case here. The best time you found problem, you need to help with nothing. Any consumer protection for that nothing. But in the eye, you have to be we have from now to the paper. Now, you have to I'm telling you, what is in the
Nkonnwa sei ni na echi no, nkonnwa sei ni na echi no, nkonnwa sei ni na echi no. Se nkonnwa sei nkonnwa sei ni na echi na se ni amu ehwe ni mu kwan no ya anya amamu a na den na mu ye.
Enu duwa, mama so afi, ele se pati. Kenji we.
Joshua Edmonds ne beda wasenda no pay wada Jenebre woni ye na twetwen komo waka Mobile Money Agent Association for no eho na won so won consensus a won me raise eno no wo so se won be hia sanka ban betumi ne won me sinkunya na won mo abobo we ho esan se won de wo so se 11 ya ebe gu won edwuma nipa dodo na no bete won ahonkeka efa kwan anka wo fa so edi Mobile Money eye edwuma na enam sa kwan no so no won so won dwuma hodo bebre ebegu Michael ni ya boy anan gusu ewo menchen ewa sem se nya wedi kanka bebre na ono so wa babe sisi bi ende se ekokoba ne sana ye hun tax ahodo bebre aban de kan introduce oye na adresan ko be introduce o ma fodro na cassette ya wo drop ye luxury vehicle taxi so be kaye no so concerns bebre eba efa ho ugidi passe we se no ma fodoro na sha se kan ho asem ya ban besisa na aduana
say my professor Maudada but say aban besisa na dream tie Menji in this say they really have a choice. They would go on. Me believe in the say omo be
koswa
aye nia omo pese omo ye no because they really have no alternative. In fact, you know, they are their weak end. They are not now mobile money yeah. I say mbisa mo sem pa.
In sembu bi to say banking, it is quasi banking. And yes, sir, with the SCATO wallets and all that. So we had physical cash. We tender it in to say deposit. Now I turn it to say e-money bisano. Now yeah the diga. Wow. Now sasika no back end no e will be in channel. Nipa no the year juma. Wanya humfaso. Na omo di me nyabi idea I have never felt good about it. Oh really?
Yes, because I think say the drive should be to enable the banks, you know, to take up that and only on juma rather than the telcos doing it.
Oh, okay.
They can ride on the backbone of the telcos to do the same thing. Who share banks be bring apps, to media transfers, which is basically the same thing we are doing. Maybe because not everybody can actually own some of these smartphones, but I'm sure, say technology-wise, we can actually use the your friend is saying these analog phones, connecting the banks to do basically the same thing. Me mau checker say intimi e-tax and I intimi e-tax.
No.
Me ko tiasika no share account mo say intimi e-tax. Wow. We should ask certain questions. Say mobile money, who is it really benefiting? incomes are aging no you're reporting over him mate say or branch no can say omotua withholding taxes and all that, but who is benefiting from the maturity transformation? Maturity transformation no say who they will take who will simple because to her wow na bank yi afa no mo dia bo bi busia no mo agi ho faso 21%. Me ahina menya hwe o
where you musika no
omo ye musika no omo nya hwe na government asamba si me be san agi 1.7%. Mind you, if the back end no sits with the banks now, not just that the banks are making more in terms of deposits. And yes, sir. Now, if the banks are making more in terms of deposits, sir, not just say the banks are equally making more in terms of revenue because look at the values we are talking about. What is the float? And say Sasike traded with 1 billion a month, now 500 billion. You have it sitting at the bank. It is not moving because Omon can't share cash out for a year in a year. Right? And see, Odi Sikama Umania. Umami instead of sell or Bekako Yato Adian, or no so a mobile man in Nibi, or no so beto Adian. Nasikano Edao. Obi di Sikane Yeduma. Infasua Ebaho. Me nyashi me aye me sika no me nyashi na aban asori aba o say me san beje o tax sa sem na yeka
and the conversation anka say was it to me dequate because I said some element of ambiguity be
exactly.
In
fact, there is no transparency in the mobile money administration. To me, there is no transparency at all.
Ogusa show my Yi Mu Te Sen Jumede Wadwa television Msakabe Sima watching bi na ye de Jumede ni nada abere roto sia abanya scrappy wugidi pa se ya dia eye na nke ho nso no se kakra wa bi fi ha na eba.
Oh well, roto
the reasons or my watch say akwese news and speed at the moment for apply road ni titu ni heavy traffics ni ade ekoso ewo honom causing pollution ni ade no no tangible enough say between ashkrabi.
Well, say cause traffic not just say you should look at a more creative way of doing it. They be more effective. To reduce the jams, traffic jams, no so now say who see yang free hub because then you have not paid attention to certain things. Our dream and call nyama bisu. Then I make say, I'm sure ya na cashier be netro budget you because road tolls. Wow, any toll booths are ye mountain in nyama no. It is just also not about Sikano. Sometimes it's to control the flow of traffic on certain road networks. We call Mama in Biswa. We call the Central District. Almost be ube far remuno. Yeji roto ho. Then a roto no so. And it influences your behavior to park your car somewhere. And join the public transport. So what you say? And the roto is not just for the money. Mima dream the central districts, be to say, look at the waste in terms of fuel. If you put 10 bags at the end of circle, and put another 10 boxes, 50 capacity bags, at the end, early morning, at the end of post office. And they are just rotating, shuttling around. It is enough to convey everybody. So what you see. And then discourage people entering into that zone with road tolls. Because who can't share trotro driver say to 10 cities to enter? So on right? And that is to control the traffic. So it is very simplistic to say, oh, we are moving it there because it causes traffic jams. But be our air causing traffic jams. No. What you should know, no, say, then the architecture of the road, no, must be looked at to improve it.
Right.
That is what you do. So that more cars would try and use that section of the road and you raise more income. And in the initial stages, no, more mounty, you did not do any feasibility. More mounty toll booths, no. Are you saying you did not do any feasibility about the volume of vehicles? In terms of public transport, in terms of private vehicles using
maybe
it?
so a manual system na can be find other alternatives to the
digitalized vice president. So no, there are solutions to it. There are solutions to it. You can even encourage people to prepay. Na me do na me the chair.
Right.
It just opens up for me and I move. Right? Obi ye juma wotema. Whatever it takes, obefa motorway also. And yes,
yeah.
So I should have a provision. Say me do na me the chair na
which mko.
Na ma twemko. Abia mami na ma twemko. Enye no ano. Now with all our digitalization, are we talking of this? Are we talking of this? Are we serious? Say who see ni awunya wo hono is not adequate, which I might agree. And then now you see road to Sikano 4 are any adequate. Have we matched it up? One of the videos you played, I think the gentleman alluded to that. One of the MPs alluded to that. Usi Uji Bola tax. How much of Bola did we spend on? Then we can ask questions. Then people can appreciate, say, oh, it is not enough. Then if you say, I'm coming back to increase the tax rate, Uji 50 pesos, say, Uba, say, to boots, no, say, na yeji, na yedi share, say, mo. Now this is the deficit. And to close up this deficit now, look, here say, instead of 50 pesos, no, you one cedi. Because we would physically give evidence of the routes or the investment you have put those monies into. But there is no transparency. Senya Mika about COVID here. COVID 1%, why? Expenditures burn now the Korean. Meaning, now we can't share myself pay more taxes.
I'm say every nankasa as one say or say sorry so in Semba Kuminum and CBM say opesa or the tudra na is sorry medinus.
Well, I think sir Niameka say as a country no yen na say yen ye bottom sika and fan share on my punto ejuma. Whichever way no, the best way no is through taxation. But I will encourage government, say, the tax policies must seem to be fair by all. It must be adequate. And it must be transparent. And we must give more to the production industry of our country. Taxes, no, are those. The administration of the taxes no have become too complex to deal with. And abayo onshare into production. Na enye one district, one factory certificate are all man for and a beboy.
Yeah, but that's in down pay. Yes, taxes na those Michael ni ya boy and financial and tax expected that was in down pay what that January. Would have a kind self with you myself, a man come out to channel. yetumi e de ahyehyɛ sɛ busu da wo so ase wo so a oje bring adaje hwe ye wo fie no ye da se bebre se memenda no pe wo de wafidie no ato ha na wahwe ye na Isaac Otu eni me din vena me no what time so kroje motel ane so yasene nyame adoma na wotwe sene ye be hia makra